basically this red line going across the top here, that was your the daily consumption. So Bill had a data logger on there. He was tracking it by the hour. So that was their daily consumption. This bar going up and down here, that was the week that the installs were done. And then this blue line going across the bottom, that was deemed as flapper leaks. So you can see right here, the week that we did the installs, there's just a steady decline in consumption. This gap between the two red lines was determined as from calibrating that mini valve. And then this blue line going across the bottom here, that was flapper leaks, dropped off 100%. So we detected 100% of the leaks. To give you an idea how much water we're actually talking about, this isn't a huge property. It was 210 people, so your average apartment complex. We're saving them the equivalent of a swimming pool every 3 days. $1,250 a month. On top of that, we did some rough calculations. If they would have replaced all the toilets throughout the property, there would have been 16 tons of porcelain going into the landfill. So, I mean, that's an aspect that most people don't factor in as well. Additionally, like I say, Bill was saying that this property was operating fairly efficiently. If they would have replaced all the toilets, they would have seen a 46% reduction of water use. It was projected. By adding a $12 to $15 replacement item, they got a 36% reduction of water use, and basically the return on investment went from years, if they were replacing all the toilets, to under 4 months. Now the past Marriotts and Hyatts that have done installs, the return on investment was under 5 months. So it's a very quick payback. All right, did I touch on everything? Yeah, basically we're saving this property over 2 million gallons every year. So it's substantial. It was what it is because he's taking readings throughout, by the hour, he can say, okay, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, where no one's flushing anything, it maintained, and it maintained that level steady. So it never dropped, the meter never stopped spinning and dropped down to zero. So it was assumed that was flapper leaks in the beginning. After the install and it dropped down to zero, then it was verified. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I made myself clear. Valve was the first thing installed. We would note if the flapper was leaking so we can track it. And then 100% of those people called back. When they called back, put in a new flapper, and didn't hear from them again. So the leak detection was 100%. Yes. So basically, if that flapper was to leak, the valve's just going to kick on and off, just like normal. What's going to happen though is because we have these jets, and because all valves are anti-siphon, it directs air through these jets. Where other valves, when the valve first comes on, you get those air bubbles that just quietly ride up. So when those bubbles ride up, you don't notice it. When they go through the jets, it's enough. It basically makes a sound. So it's something that you don't notice with the background noise of the toilet flushing, but if no one flushed the toilet, it's enough to signal, hey, there's a problem.
So it kind of amplifies, might not be the right word, but the noise of the cycling creates more of a noise now. So.
Yes, yeah. So it's just when the valve first comes on. So in other words, it's masked typically when the toilet's being flushed because you got the background noise of the toilet flushing. But it's enough to alert you, hey, there's a problem. It's worked well with apartments as well, because a lot of times tenants, well, typically they're not paying the water bill. So this is something that if the landlord's paying the water bill, it's key, because typically what ends up happening is you can have 100 units. If the water bill goes through the roof, now the engineer has to basically go door to door, and 9 times out of 10 the problem is going to be a toilet. So it's key that you get their them to call you instead of you going door to door as far as our property management side. Here.
You said before that there was a gallon used in addition to the 1.6 or 3.5, depending on the toilet. There's up to a gallon more water that would flow through the toilet.
Yeah.
Just to refill it.
Yes. Wow. So we've actually measured it at a couple of different properties in Orlando, a couple of Marriotts, and measured it up to 200 ounces. So basically, the way that you measure it is this simple. You have that pencil mark down in the bowl. You throw it right where the water level is right now, and you flush the toilet. And as soon as that water level comes up and hits that mark, you grab the refill tube. That's the tube that's going into your overflow. You grab that and you just shoot it outside the tank into a bucket. So now instead of seeing that ripple, it's all going into this bucket. And in both of these properties, what we did is we didn't have a bucket, so we grabbed the garbage can sitting in the bathroom, and it filled it right to the rim. I mean, I actually had to shut the valve off a split second sooner because it would have just overflowed.